So our goal is to translate verbal expression into algebraic expressions and vice versa. All right. So let's try to do this one. How do you find the area of a rectangle? Anybody?
You find the area of a rectangle by multiplying the length and the width.
Alright, we multiplied the length and the width. Anybody else? Eka said base times height. That's also a good idea. Alright, so length times width is that's how we are going to find the area of a rectangle. So if the length is 3 meters and the width is 2 meters, what is the area? Emmy?
6 meters squared.
Okay, that's correct. And Anderson said exactly the same. The only thing that you guys are missing are the units. The units is supposed to be in square meters or meters squared, as you said. But 6 is correct. Yes, Ekas, that's correct. So length times width. So area is 3 times 2. We're going to have 6 square meters. So don't forget the square units. So in this case, A, L, and W are called variables. We learned this in 6th grade. It's just a little review for what we have today because this is like how we start our new topic, this unit. So this is what Miss Goldberg asked me to tell you guys. So a variable is any letter that represents an unknown number. Let me close my door. An algebraic expression. Can anybody tell me what an algebraic expression is? Anyone? Haley? Do you have idea what algebraic expression is? No one else? Can someone give me an example then?
Numbers?
Numbers? Alright, it could be numbers. What else? An expression with algebraic variables, constant, numbers, and coefficient. That was Malia said. MD said 6 times 5. Oh, 6x times 5. We could do that too. Hi, Shelby. Welcome. We haven't seen you for a while. Alright, so one or more numbers or variables. That is an algebraic expression. One or more arithmetic operations. Okay. And examples can be x minus 3. It could also be 3. What does that dot represent? What does the dot represent?
Multiplication.
It represents a multiplication sign. So 3 times 2n. Or it could be 4 over n plus 1. All right, so Rimsha said it's times. That's correct. So if you look over here, these are the examples of algebraic expressions. Okay, and it's not only limited to minus; it could also be plus. So it's again, it has one or more arithmetic operations. So in expression, there are many different ways to write multiplication. Okay, let's look at them. One could be AB, but still that could be read as AB. Also A dot B or A times B, like what Rimsha said, the dot means times. Or A parenthesis B or A parentheses and then the B. Or both of them are in parentheses. Or we could use the symbol X. But since we're doing expression, we're not going to use them anymore, right? Why is it that we don't need to use the multiplication symbol in writing the expression? How come that we don't need to use them? Like, for example, number 1, AB. I don't need to put that dot or parentheses or the times symbol in there. I don't need to use that. Why? Anybody could share? You guys know? You guys still remember when we were in 6th grade? Ryan said he forgot. It's because we simplify them. Like for example, the first one, A B. We know that when those two variables are next to each other, they are the process is multiplication. Like the process to simplify between A and B is to multiply, right? So variable next to another variable means you multiply those two variables. Unless there's a plus in between, and then you're adding them. But without that, so you combine terms in multiplication, we just eliminate those dot, parentheses, or the x to simplify them. But it doesn't mean we cannot use them. We still can, but to make it more nicer and simplified form, we don't need those dots or parentheses or x. Question? Hi. So again, in division, on the other hand, we could write it as a fraction form, or we could simply just do x divided by 3 with the symbol of division. But since we're working as expression, most of the time you could see it this way, but this means x divided by 3. That is also another way of showing it. So you could see both of them. It means exactly the same. So in this case, I want you to try to write something, words that mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Identify the words as many as you know. Let's start with addition. Since we don't have a peer deck, you guys can type it in the chat, and I will look at the chat. All right. So I will look at it in the chat, or we could talk about it. So how about that? Like in addition, what are words that you know that means addition? Fiona?
Add.
We say add. Anybody? Joanna? More of addition words that means addition. Like there are some words that means
all together.
all together. Very good, Fiona. Anderson? Malia said some. Guys, you could open your microphone and just talk. Haley, give me one word that means addition.
I have one word.
Go ahead, Chris.
Add.
Add. Malia said total. That's good too. Anyone else? Danae? You have another word that may that it's in a word problem, like for example, and then you know that, oh wait a minute, I have to add. You remember? Lisa said plus. Hi Lisa. All right, how about subtraction, guy? Increase by. Very good, Malia. Subtraction, anyone?
Decrease.
Decrease. I love that. Yes, MD, that's correct. We decrease.
Find the difference.
Find the difference, Tania. That's correct. Anyone else? How about if you go to the bank? Less than, Malia said. That's correct. If you go to the bank, what word? Shelby said minus, take away. What does that mean, operator, MD? Withdraw. That's correct, Malia.
Like subtraction sign operator.
Oh, okay. That's true. How about multiplication? Can somebody tell us words that I have to multiply? We might encounter this. Product, Malia said. Enka said times. Malia said exactly the same. All right. So that's it. That's the word we got. All right, let's proceed to division. Can anybody remember a word that we have to do division? Fiona, that's correct. For division this time,
Divide.
we could use the word divide. Yeah. Is that the only word we remember? We divide.
Equal.
Quotient. What is it? Part of? Quotient, that is true. Let's see what the note said, because we might forgot about it for so long. It's been last year. Let's see what it is. So here we go. Those the one in asterisk, or those the one that we use mostly. But in addition, you could also see the word increase, plus, add, more than, total, difference, decrease, minus, subtract, less than, right? Quotient, divided, ratio, for division. So there are a lot more words, and those are not just limited to that. There might be a lot more words later on you could encounter it working in a word problem. All right, let's go to the next one. So if I'm going to ask you to write an algebraic expression for m increased by 5, how are you going to write this? So this m increased by 5 is verbal expression, word expression. Malia did say it. So in the chat, anybody else? So Fiona, Malia, you're correct. You say m plus 5. I know, it's period 1. You guys are so sleepy. Let's look at the next one. How about this? 7 times the product of x and t. How are we going to write this? 7 times the product of x and t. You don't need to write the asterisk one. And this said his brain is like then 2. So 7 times, if you say 7 and times the product of x and t. So 7 times the product of x and t. So we'll see how the answer goes. So as I said, you don't need to put those dots, you don't need to put those parentheses, but it doesn't mean they are not equal to. So 7xt or 7 parentheses with parentheses xt or 7 dot x dot t. All right, so those are equivalent expressions, so you could write it. But the nice way to write is 7xt. All right. So how about this? 11 less than 4 times a number. In the chat, write your answer. 11 less than 4 times a number. What is that word that will represent that we switch the position of the term? 11 less than 4 times a number. So you guys are correct, but the only thing that makes it wrong is because there's a word than. Once there's a word than, that term will switch to that term because we are going to compare. What are we comparing it for? So 11 less than what? 4 times a number. So 4 times a number comes first, then 11 less. So all of you guys did switch. I seen your answers in the chat, but it is because of this word you're comparing it to the previous one. What is 11 less than 4? So that's from 4 times a number. So it goes the other way around. Malia, that is correct. So it's supposed to be 4n minus 11. It says it's 11 less. So it's 11 less than where? 4 times the number. So you're comparing that term to that term. 11 less. Okay, your keyword is the word than. Once you see that, you're switching those terms together because of the comparison. All right, next. Here's another one. I hope you got this one right. 2 more than 6 times the number. In the chat, put your answers. Now you got that right. So you guys are really like fast learner. So 6n plus 2. Because you're comparing 2 more than where 2 times the number. So it's 2 more plus 2. You're fast, people. That's nice. Yeah, that's correct, Ryan. Here you go. The quotient of the number and 12. The quotient of what? Of a number and 12. How do we write that? In the chat? I haven't seen any answer yet for this one. The quotient of a number and 12. Go ahead, guys. In the chat. Anybody know? So you're not confident, huh? So let's see what's... this time, it should not be switching around, Malia. Yes, Ekas, that's correct. MD, that's correct. So it's not switching around because there is no comparison. It's just telling you, understand that's correct, Ryan, that's correct. A number and 12. So it's a quotient of number and 12. So you know you don't switch. All right, let's go to the next one. Which of the following expression represents 7 times a number decreased by 13? Decreased by. It's not comparing it. So Malia said it's number 2. Ryan said it's question 2. Alright. Alright, Fiona and everybody else said number 2. Let's see if you guys are correct. Yes, that's true. 7 times a number decreased by. Next one. Which of the following expression represents 28 less than, there's the word than again, 3 times a number? Again, which of the following expression represents 28 less than 3 times a number? Malia said number 2, Lisa Anderson, Haley said, Eka said, Fiona, everyone said, Emmy said number 2. Let's see if you get it right. That's correct. Alright? But if it says by 3 times a number, your answer is 1. But because of the word than, you switch those expressions. Very nice. You are a fast learner, people. So, let's write a verbal expression for number 1 and number 2. Write your answer in the chat, please. So there are 31 people here, so there are 29. Anybody know who's absent? I haven't checked the attendance. Alright guys, write your answer in the chat, please. 8 plus A. So how do you write this in words or verbal? Malia said 8 plus a number. That is correct. You're asking me, but that's correct. 8 plus a number. Anybody else? That's why in the beginning I asked you what other word that other than the word plus that you could use. That was correct too. Alright, let's see what it is. So the sum, see, you could use the word sum. The sum of 8 and A. You guys mostly said 8 plus A. That's correct. Some of you also said you could also say 8 added, what is that? 8 the quotient of a number. Oh, that's for number 2. Yes, you could say a number is added to 8. So you could do that too. Let's do number 2. Let's look. The ratio of M to R, or you guys said the quotient of M over R, or M over R, or M divided by R. There are so many ways of writing it, so it's up to you. The sum of 8 and A, the quotient of M divided by R. That is correct, Ekis. Very nice. Let's look at the next one, Which of the following verbal expressions represents 2x plus 9? Which of the following verbal expression represents 2x plus 9? Write your answer. Ryan said, Malia said 4, Ryan Haley said 1. Malia changed the answer to 1. Alright. So it will be number 1. But if you said number 4, it says less, but it is supposed to be added. So 9 added to twice a number. Alright, you good guys? Next, which of the following expression represent the sum of 16 and 5 times a number? The sum of 16 and 5 times a number. Like I said, 3. Mia, Malia, Dania. Haley said 3. Fiona also said 3. Anderson said so. Rimsha also said 3. You guys are correct. Next one. Alright, here we go. Another review. Look at it.
We're a fast learner.
You are a fast learner. And it means that you remember your lesson when you were in 6th grade. So very good. Look at the expression 10 to the power of 3. 10 is called a what? What do you call 10 in this case? 10 to the power of 3. Malia said base. You guys right. Yes, Ekes, that's correct. And 3 is called what? Malia said exponent. Anybody else? Anybody else a different way of saying exponent? Start with the word with the letter P. What do you guys have? Don't remember too? All right. So it called exponent or power. So if you guys see this in words, it means exponent. So 3 is called exponent or power. So 10 to the power of 3 means 10 times 10 times 10, or 10 to the power of 3. That's correct, Malia. All right. So let's look at the next one. How do you read 2 to the power of 1? So this is easy, right? I'll just move along. So 2 to the first power, or 2, this one is 2 to the power of 2. How about this one? Or 2 to the second power, or 2 squared, right? Can anybody read this one for me? How do you read this, Fiona? Anyone?
2 to the third.
2 to the third power, or 2 to the power of 3. Or 2 to the third power, or 2 cubed. You could also say that. How about this? 2 n to the 7th power, right? So just remember 2 times the n to the 7th power. You can also say that. Remember, the 7 is only a power of n. That belongs to n. It doesn't belong to 2 unless they have parentheses. Let's see this. Which of the following expression represents x squared plus 2x? Choose a number. X squared plus 2x. Dania said 1. The sum of a number squared and twice a number. Haley said also 1. Ryan said 1. Are you sure, guys? That's your answer? Let's see. Fiona said 1. You guys are correct. Lisa and Eka said exactly the same. The sum of the number squared and twice the number. Here we go. Which of the following expression represents 4 less than, here we go, the cube of a number? Which of the following expression represents 4 less than the cube of a number? Malia said it's number 4. Emmy, you're not sure, but I guess you're right. So Shelby, Ekis, Fiona, and everybody else said 4. Number 4, which is correct. Okay. Next question. Let's evaluate the following. So we're just reviewing, right? So we're on it. How much is 2 to the power of 1? What's the value? Evaluate means give it a value. Malia said 2. Haley said 2. All right. Proceed to the next. How about this? 2 to the second power. How much? Haley, Malia, Ryan, Fiona, Tania said 4. Let's see if you got right. Yep, that's correct. Yeah, because that's correct. How about this? 2 to the third power. Let's see about this. Malia, that's wrong. Haley, correct. Ika's correct. Lisa, correct. Albert. Hi, Albert. Send you salam. Fiona, Shelby, Rimsha, you're right. You guys sometimes are very quick at doing your answer, right? Chris, you're up, Chris. Your answer is 8 because you're gonna multiply the base 3 times. How about this? What will this be? Anyone? What is the value of 2n to the power of 7? No one is brave enough to say something, huh? Can we evaluate this, Fiona? Can we write an answer for this one?
Yes.
What's the answer? Haley, can we get the answer for 2n to the power of 7? Can we evaluate this?
No,
Why not?
because we don't have the value for n.
Very nice. Fiona, did you get that one? So we
Yeah.
cannot evaluate them. Why can't we evaluate them already? Haley answered us because we don't have the value for n unless there is the value for n. Like Chris is figuring out what will it be. Oh, Chris, I just want to let you know that 7 doesn't belong to 2. It belongs to n, so you cannot make that answer 128. Okay? So if n is 5, the n is 2n to the power of 7, you cannot evaluate them. Unless I say let n be 5, then you could do that. But unless there is a value of n, then you can evaluate. If there's not, then the answer is 2n to the power of 7. Okay? So, I think this is second to the last question we got. Is 3 to the power of 5 equivalent to 5 to the power of 3? Why? I'll give you a minute. Think about it. Or solve it. Alright, anybody got an answer? Is 3 to the 5th equivalent to 5 to the 3rd? MD? Cause it's a multiple of 5, Oak Anderson said. So are they equal to each other? Anderson's thinking maybe yes. Chris? Haley? Joanna? Maybe. Not equal, Ika said. Malia solved it. She said that 3 to the 5 is 300 something. Let's look at that. So some of you said yes, some of you said no. The only thing is you need to solve it in order for you to say it's yes or no. Malia said they're not equal. So if you look at this, 3 to the power of 5 means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, right? Is 245. Correct. And 5 to the power of 3 is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. So it means they are not the same. Okay? So if you look at that, 243 is not equal to 125. So because 3 to the 5th, it means you multiply the base 5 times. 5 to the 3rd, you multiply the base 5 3 times. So don't be confused for those two, okay? So they are not equal. So with that said, you're going to go to your IXL, right? So you are going to Algebra 1, Lesson I, this letter I, 1, write variable expressions. So if you go to...
That's an I one?
Yeah, that's letter I. I want to try it to write it differently, but my keypad doesn't allow me to put the letter I. But that's I1, only one. Write variables and expression. And that will be in your Google Classroom. I mean in IXL. Any question for the review so that tomorrow we could do evaluate expressions.
No.
All right then. So with that said, I want you to go to your IXL work on lesson 1 in Algebra 1, lesson I1. Okay, go ahead guys. Go to IXL. I'm gonna check attendance.